and a great way to cap off the 75th NBA anniversary season. To the fans of Boston, the Bay Area, and fans around the world, thank you all for being a part of it. Congratulations to the Boston Celtics, the Eastern Conference champions, on a terrific season. And now the Golden State Warriors, 6 NBA Finals in 8 years, 4 NBA championships, a remarkable run by any measure that only a handful of teams in the history of NBA have accomplished. To Joe Lacob, to Peter Guber, to Coach Kerr, to Bob Myers, to all you great players, the coaches, and the entire Golden State Warriors organization, congratulations. You are the 2022 NBA champions.
We are the champions, my friend. Welcome back to the Sports Back Zone. Golden State Warriors are champions of the 2021-2022 NBA season. And of course, I'm not Freddie Mercury. Led by Steph Curry with 34 points, the Warriors beat the Celtics 103-90 in Game 6 at TD Garden on Thursday night for a 4-2 series win.
The Golden State Warriors with a chance to close out their 4th championship in 8 years. Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins and company looking to get it done in Boston. Jason Tatum and company looking to prevent that. And there's Tatum knocking down the elbow jumper, and Boston storms out to a lead. But here comes Steph and the Warriors. Steph gets the layup there, then Warriors in transition, and it's Gary Payton II to Curry, who's relocating for the three-pointer, and now Golden State's up 24-22 in the second quarter. Andrew Wiggins missing a shot, but Draymond Green taps it out to Jordan Poole, and he just pulls on a three, just nails the shot. 15 points in 18 minutes off the bench for Poole. Gary Payton steals it here, then Jordan Poole to Andrew Wiggins for the jam. Wiggins, 18 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals, 3 blocks in the game. Robert Williams now swatting Steph Curry. Jason Tatum with the Euro step layup on the other end. Beautifully done. Watch it one more time as he glides right on by. Not a big night for Tatum. 13 points on 6 of 18 shooting. Golden State up by 8 at that point. Steph Curry shakes Derek White for the three-point shot. That one goes down. Later, it's Draymond Green finding Klay Thompson, cutting for the layup. Nice little pass here. And at the half, Golden State leads this thing 54-39. In the third quarter, it's Draymond Green passing and screening to Steph Curry for the three-pointer. Beautifully done and effective. Then it's Green to Curry for the deep three-pointer, and the Warriors are on fire now. They're up 22 in the third and just blowing this game open. Could Boston respond? Well, they did. Jaylen Brown drives and flips it in. Then Jason Tatum to Al Horford for the layup plus the foul. Horford, 19 points, 14 rebounds as well. He'd make the free throw. That cut the lead down to 9. In the fourth, Steph Curry drives for the tough left-handed layup. That pushes the lead back to 14. In response, Jaylen Brown, corner three is money. 34 points, 7 rebounds for Brown. Big game for him, and it's close. It's 8 points, but just too much Golden State. Draymond Green gets the layup off the Klay Thompson steal. Green, a double-double in this one. 12 points and 12 rebounds. And then, for punctuation, Andrew Wiggins to Steph Curry for the three-pointer. Curry, 34 points, including 6 of 11 on threes. Obviously, Tatum heartbroken. Steph emotional after this one as well. He and Iguodala hug it out afterwards, and Steph Curry finally gets his finals MVP. The Warriors' 4th championship during this run. Your final score in this one, 103-90.
Yeah, you don't fake your way or fluke your way to an NBA title. You win it legitimately, whatever the season is, yeah? This is the Warriors' 4th title in the last 8 seasons, as you'd have heard our friends say, and 7th overall, putting them 3rd behind the Lakers and Celtics. The Lakers and Celtics have 17 each. Warriors head coach Steve Kerr had special praise for Curry. He said, I'm obviously thrilled for everyone in that room, and a lot of people had a big hand in this, but I think the thing with Steph, without him, none of this happens. And that's not taking anything away from Joe and the Peters ownership, because they're amazing owners and have built an incredible organization. Bob Myers, hell of a GM. Our players, we've had so many great players, but Steph ultimately is why this run has happened. Curry, who averaged 31.2 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists per game in this series, was the unanimous pick for the Bill Russell Award given to the Finals MVP. Joining us now to recap Game 6 is Alister Adberg. Alister, welcome.
Good night, good night. And I think you should start singing every segment you come on. That was really good.
This is why mediocrity perpetuates, Lance Whitaker, and persists, because when you have rubbish singing like I delivered, and then you have a reputable man encourage me to sing, it's why rubbish perpetuates.
Encouragement. That's how people get better, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's a good point, my friend. That's a good point. Listen, the Warriors, that 21-0 run late in the first quarter to the second quarter, yeah? It just blew the game apart, and the Celtics weren't able to recover from that after.
Yeah, they were discombobulated after that started. And I think one of the things we said really early on in these finals was that, the back-breaking three-pointers that these guys could hit off of broken plays and in transition, if you can't contain that, it will demoralize you. And that's exactly what happened with these guys. I think they were very aware of how many shots were being hit, the points that were being totaled up on them. And, it just kind of took the steam out of their sails, and they were just not able to kind of recover from that. They tried. There was a lot of over dribbling. I think that's something that I mentioned in the
yes.
last appearance.
Yes.
Over dribbling from Jason Tatum, dribble, tough shot, and they were just not able to get a lot of assists and everything and ball movement off of that. Jaylen Brown tried, but he was just really trying his best to just go through guys, and that doesn't really help when you're trying to recover some of that lead that Golden State did. So yeah, it just discombobulated them and then set the tone for everything as it happened after that.
Yeah, you mentioned Draymond Green's finals, Game 6 stats in NBA Finals series, and he was marginally better than those numbers. 12, 12, and 8 is what he put up on Thursday night. And you got the sense that he was plugged in, knew what the job was, did the job with efficiency, and then the Celtics, for their part, just weren't at optimum. We've seen them play better games in this entire postseason, not against a team as good as the Warriors, and maybe that's the big difference. But to turn the ball over in this game more than you did in Game 5, you're asking for a hiding, Alister.
The magic number was, I think, 15 or 16. Once you see they hit that number and it goes up, they tend to lose their games. It was something like 1-7 or 1-8 when you see they have more than 15 assists in this postseason run. And, once you hit 22, you just have no chance to recover from that. And Draymond Green, coming back to him, he played with that force, that word that kept coming up throughout the playoff run. He played like himself, played very loose, played very free, was able to do a lot of the dribble handoffs at the top of the key that made a lot of open shots for Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole, and Steph Curry. He just played within the rhythm that we all know Draymond could play. And he's marginally better statistics based on his regular Game 6 averages. But he just showed up, and I think all of that just helped the team. Andrew Wiggins stepped up again. Of course, he didn't have a heavy rebounding night like he had the past 2 games, but all of that just contributed. Jordan Poole came in and kind of added to that 21-0 run. It was just all like a really good balanced attack from everyone. And like we said really early on as well, the Golden State Warriors just had a lot more offensive firepower. The bench, again, coming up big. It was 21-5 advantage from the bench production from the Warriors to the Celtics. They just couldn't overcome it. It was just too much.
Yeah, there are so many things in this series that you called right at the start, Alistair, before the first tip was made. We should give you extra medals. One of the things you called right was that as well as the Celtics had trended in these playoffs so far, they had not yet met a team like Golden State with the weapons that the Warriors had. And it was from that perspective that you felt they would have struggled. But here's the thing. The NBA is unique among global mass appeal sports because it's the one where, well, the NFL is similar, and you can see that it's 2 big American sports. The American sports are built around the cult of the hero, the one man or the two men, but more than likely the one man hero who saves it all, who's better than everybody else, who drags everyone else to the finish line, who drags the whole team to the championship. That's how American sport is set up. We love it for that. Some people don't like it. They're wasting their time and wasting their energy. I say all of that to say, when the one man hero doesn't connect, then it's almost as if the team isn't built to compensate for the star player not showing up. Jason Tatum on Thursday night, Alister, 31.6% from 2-point range in the game, which was, they say, the worst 2-point shooting percentage in the NBA in 40 years and the third worst in 60 years. Now, I can take that from you in the first round of a playoff series. You had a bad night. In the most decisive game of your career, in the most decisive game in recent franchise history, you put up the worst 2-point percentage numbers in the last 40 years and the third worst in the last 60 years. The young man had a nightmare, and that's putting it mildly.
Very mildly, he came up really small at the biggest time, and he did everything to get up to this point and then laid a massive egg, and it's really unfortunate for him. But let's be very optimistic for him. This is a young guy who's reaching the finals for the first time. He's in his fifth year, I think, in the league, and he's gaining quite a lot of experience along the way. And the reason why I wore OKC jersey tonight, which seems a bit off because we played Golden State and the Celtics, there are a lot of connections to the Oklahoma City Thunder from the 2012 year or season for these finals. Of course, Kevin Durant went over to OKC in 2016. Al Horford came from Oklahoma City last off-season when they traded Kemba Walker and he got back to there.
You mean Durant went to the Warriors in 2016?
Yeah.
From OKC. Right,
yeah.
right.
So that's one connection. Al Horford coming back from there back to the team. And then also what I really want to make a really clear point about, in 2012, OKC got to the finals and kind of, they not surprised, it was expected, this young dynastic team coming up and kind of hoping that they could get really far and continue that sort of thing on. We saw what happened with that team afterwards. They traded players away, the team got selfish, and then the team broke up and lost the chemistry and everything. I really hope the Boston Celtics management look at that team really closely and don't break it up. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have come to these finals for the first time. This is an experience that I think they need to grow from. They need to look at everything. The team they faced against were a team that was grown organically, that came from the draft. And if they want to emulate what the Warriors have just done, they need to learn from that organic growth and player development and working together for years to kind of build a sort of chemistry that would allow them to be unbeatable and unstoppable. So I'm hoping that, that kind of comes back to them, and they will not be just one-man team that relies on one offensive player, but a cohesive unit that works together and then becomes a lot more trouble, just like what we saw in the Golden State Warriors.
I associate myself with that hope expressed by you just now, very articulately, of course. So, to continue the star player narrative, Steph Curry, when he had that hand injury that caused him to miss so many games a couple of seasons back, and people were saying, well, yeah, he'll never be the same. His peak years have gone because of his size and the things he can't do. Yeah, you can forget about Steph. Then when Clay went down, they say, oh, he'll come back, he'll never be the same again. They say, well, with Steph and Clay gone, we saw the real Draymond Green. He's a lot of mouth, a lot of lip, but not much beyond that. Never giving and never making an allowance for, the analysts didn't, that Steph could come back fit. Klay Thompson could come back fittish, because we agree that he's not optimum in terms of his fitness to allow him to do the things that he can do. We've seen Draymond Green return to what is the real Draymond Green, which is a facilitator, a key cog in the machine, and not necessarily all of the cogs driving the machine. And I can't believe that analysts who know this game inside out, Alister, men who've played this game, men who've won championships, could have said what they said then, almost as if they want to rival Nostradamus for looking into the future and making predictions. They didn't see this coming from Golden State Warriors, and they look rather silly.
Yeah, and I think, there's a little bit of for the lack of a better term, voter fatigue, or, we've seen these Warriors do it so many times. Of course, they're getting older. They now have injuries. There's no way they could come back from that. But what they forgot to really realize is not only just the experience, but the skill that is held on that team. Steph Curry, of course, is not widely argued anymore. He is the best shooter that we've ever seen. Klay Thompson has kind of been arguably like maybe the second best shooter we've ever seen. When he maybe finish his career, that's probably the title that he's gotten. And as a core, these guys coming together, there's just this institutional knowledge of how to play and how to play against all different teams and all the different defenses that they face against each other. And with that skill set, they were able to offset whatever they've seen before once they're all healthy and kind of come together and outshine everyone. And that's what we saw this year. To be quite honest, I was a little bit skeptical as well. I didn't really see that. Of course, you guys know what I was like for this whole season. I kept on saying the Suns will get to the to the finals. Yes. That didn't happen. But of course, the Warriors kind of just kicked it in. They gained some sort of momentum and confidence. They started to believe that they could do it again. And as the rounds kind of went along, they just kind of outlasted everyone. And that's what happened. And a young team with experience and talent, it was even not enough to stop these Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, you were skeptical, Alister, but you were never derisory in your comments, and that's the point I'm making about those other guys and how they saw the Warriors. Last point to make in the final few seconds we have, and this is a lesson in humility, and no matter, when we're all young and we're whippersnappers, we tend to believe that we know everything, we can conquer everything because we are young and we're energetic and we're talented. And sometimes life regularly hands out reality checks to you for you to cash. I say all that to say, don't forget the reaction of the Memphis Grizzlies when Andre Iguodala joined the roster. That man was disrespected. The finals MVP was made to sound like he was a donkey, as someone who really couldn't play basketball, had no business being in the NBA. And those young boys didn't treat that man, Andre Iguodala, with respect. Iggy kept his head down, continued his career, now comes back to where it all started for him in terms of success. And even though he didn't get much playing time because he was restricted by injury, you can't discount what that man's experience and know-how was, how important that was to the team, especially to Curry and Thompson and Draymond Green and the guys making their breakthrough like Wiggins and Jordan Poole. That man deserves respect, and I'm sure some of those Grizzlies boys now are saying to themselves, we didn't do right by Andre.
Oh, these Grizzly boys have a lot to kind of regret, because there was a tweet that went out from Jaren Jackson Jr. who quoted strength in numbers to kind of mock the Warriors when you see they were doing a little better against them within the second round series this year. And Klay Thompson kind of laid into that. It was like called him, a bum, to kind of, go back at him and clap back because of that tweet. And it's like, you've never been there before. And what Klay Thompson is saying there as well, it's experience, like you're just saying there. We live in a very Insta generation, an Insta society. Everybody wants to kind of do things really quickly and try to rush the progress maybe that they need to take a little while to get. And this kind of comes right back to the point of the Boston Celtics. You got here, overachieved, I would say, a first-year coach and young players kind of coming together. But sometimes it doesn't always work like the 2008 Celtics when you put a team together for the first time and they win. Sometimes you need to get your bumps, learn from it, have some hard lessons learned, and then grow and develop. And hopefully they take that lesson through, and it will not be this insta thing. We grew, we understand what needs to be done, and then we execute.
Hear you on that.
See what happens next year.
Hear you on that. Lovely talking to you over the course of the season, Alice, to get some rest and recharge for the next campaign. We'll be calling on you again, and we certainly hope that your busy schedule allows you to lend us your expertise once again.
I'll be right there, guys. Thank you very much and appreciate it.
Excellent. Alistair Albert signing off from basketball for this season. Yeah, lads.
Yeah, I just wanted to make the point, because I think we can further discuss some NBA next week, because although you wrapped up with Alistair just then, because the Steph Curry stripes as historically one of the top players in the league has to be discussed. He has joined, I saw where he joined a group of, just 6 players now to win at least 4 rings, 2 MVP regular season titles, and at least 1 MVP finals title, joining Magic Johnson, Jordan, LeBron, Tim Duncan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So just 6 of them now. So we have to talk about Steph Curry and what his career is up to this point. And just to emphasize the point you just made about Peter writing off the Golden State Warriors, I saw a narrative this morning that they said they're the first team in history to come from the worst team to being the best in 2 years.
Yeah.
2019, 2020,
yes.
Their record was 15-50,
yes.
Worst team in the league,
yes.
and within 2 years they were champions again.
Absolutely. So I was going to prompt you with the first point you raised about Steph's place, because all of the LeBron acolytes, and there are many of them, said, oh, LeBron has to be one of the the greatest of all time. He's won 4 championships. Well, Steph has won 4 now, so what does that make him? Yeah? Just to make the point, it's not about how many championships you win.
Next week, George, I think we can delve into some more of the NBA season, Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors.
But that's a remarkable man. That's Steph Curry, a remarkable man. And this team, Golden State Warriors, a remarkable team. All right? The producer says break.